Hey there, everyone. It's Scurvy with the first episode of Scurvy's Shit List. Now, before I really get into the meat and potatoes of this video in particular, I do want to go over the general format of it. So, to start us off, probably have something of like Google images of the person in question. Probably have a little bit of booze to really get the best insults coming out of this mouth of mine. And then next segment is going to be a little bit of my history with the person in question. It's usually not anything personal. It's just usually me talking about if I watched their content or familiar with what they do or stuff that they did and kind of my thoughts on it. The third section is going to be really about the theme of the video, because at the end of the day, past me blowing some steam, I really do want to make some greater points with this as well. You'll probably see when this will happen, but do anticipate that I am also trying to get across something greater. And with that being said, let's actually get to the first section, shall we? Well, I do need to, have the booze first. As you can see, we already have our target here on screen for an uppercut of epic proportions. I'm already pretty tipsy, so I'm certainly feeling a little bit more gutsy when it comes to roasting someone. And oh boy, did I find the two perfect people for a roast. Now, already, this chick's already repulsive on her own, if you ask me. That's like easily a 3. And that's not even counting the countless tattoos, marks, as I like to call them, marks of being a 304, which is horror on my side of the internet. But honestly, this is probably one of her better photos. She doesn't really have a lot of good ones. But what really stands out here is right here. This is the face of a simp. This is a face of I royally screwed myself over by marrying somebody who was who was already divorced and is an admitted whore. So, there's that. And then also, I have a feeling he's the type of guy who's like, yes, my queen, I'll do anything for you, my queen, because you're around 20-something years younger than me. Honestly, this whole relationship to me screams pathological. And it's mainly because of that age gap. Like, usually when people say like, oh, younger women are attracted to older guys, it's only by a few years, not by decades. Like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. And this isn't even the cherry on top of the shit sundae that we're seeing here. Here's the other scoop of shit ice cream. As we can see, we see Donna Cuck Shart. Not a good look for you, Miss Allie Drummond. Not a good look for you. Basically, what this tells me is, considering that she's on his show, they're doing the same grift. They're doing the same fucking grift. The same deception, just one's a trad thought, and the other is a guy with barely any testosterone in his system. But now that we got our 2 scoops of shit, let's put the cherry on top. The real cherry on top, which is her website, and you're greeted by this ugly mug right here. Define a strategy to identify the man of your dreams, understand his desire, and win the relationship you've been seeking. That's real fucking rich. That is real fucking rich. Embrace your femininity. find him, win him, keep him. Now, I'm going to read this stuff so you gain some context as why you shouldn't be listening to her in the first place. Growing up in a single mother home, my romantic prospects were bleak. I was argumentative and I was frumpy, and I wasn't attracting the men I wanted. And chances are those men didn't want you. You were probably just used as a pump and dump throughout college, so there's that. When you're not attracting the men you want, you're not attracting any men. What she means by what you want, it's probably the usual shit you see on a dating profile. 6 feet tall, 6-pack, 6 figures. The usual shit. I found that by taking my physical and mental health seriously, those two are actually intertwined. You take care of your physical health more, you don't really need to worry about the mental. You just don't need to fuck yourself up. That's it. And creating a peaceful environment under masculine leadership, the stuff that I was lacking when I was a kid and don't know what that is, I was able to thrive. And by thrive, you mean you divorced a guy already, and now you're probably going to do the same. You know the system, you've benefited from the system, and so, you're going to be having a kid. Well, best of luck to you in that. I hope nothing bad happens. And I'm being honest here. I'm not trying to roast you on this. But you know the system, and you could easily try to damage him and get all his money. Lastly, I could help you formalize and execute a strategy to do the same. A strategy to help you fail. My process, gathering background information. Okay, I get that. That's pretty standard. Analysis. Isn't this... these two are the same fucking thing. Planning. You could do this all in one consultation. You don't have to keep on paying for a fucking dating coach. Execution and optimization, which is go onto a dating app and just find the type of guy you're attracted to, and then have sex with him, and then nothing happens afterwards. You just get used up. It's the perfect strategy for molding someone who would be a good woman into somebody who would not be a good woman. And there hasn't really been any proof from her YouTube channel or anything like that actually shows that chicks can benefit from talking to her or someone else who might be on the shit list in the future. So this is basically another way of just saying all this shit. Who are you? Together we could discuss your background, dating experiences, and the men you picked before. And by picked before, they'll probably pick the same shitty men because that's what they grew up with. That's their instinct, is to pick those shitty men, and they don't even realize it. Identify him. I want 6'4", 1 million a year. That shit. That's what you're looking for. And this grift here will help you out with that, I think. SMART plan. SMART is in all caps. We develop specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals organized into an actionable plan. Go on to Hinge and just like all the attractive men on there. That's the strategy, I bet. Support. We discuss how your plan is going. Give me $50 more. Give me another 50 and we'll keep on talking. 50 an hour. We discuss how your plan is going and adjust if necessary until you find the man we defined. 6'4" Chad, money, muscles, and one that doesn't have a high-pitched voice and autism. Yeah, totally. That's totally what's gonna happen. Ah, man, this is just all one huge grift. And obviously, she has her socials down here. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that shit. Oh my god. How is this helpful in the slightest? Obviously, there's not that many red-pilled women, so to speak. Like there are a few, and they're far between. But a lot of the ones that we're seeing now, like fucking grifters, man. And I'm not sure if I did this in the past or not. I've been drinking for this part of the recording, but if I've ever shouted out just pearly things, I'd like to apologize for that. I've since learned the error of my ways and actually learned how to really look into someone. And this is part of it. I guess this is part of my penance. But anyways, let's get back to sober scurvy here, shall we? So, now that the roast has been finished, it's time that I go over a little bit of history with her channel. I found her, I think, around second semester of my senior year of college. I think it was around the time where I was watching Pearly Things for a little bit. It's like, oh wow, there's more people like Pearly Things. It's like, oh, I thought it was like, oh, this is pretty great. It seems like women are starting to pay attention to men's issues. And oh boy, I was very much proven wrong. But during that initial period of bliss, I guess you could say, it was pretty nice. I was huffing the copium a bit in an already pretty difficult year or semester of college, and 20-page history paper, I'll tell you that. Then, I think it was around April, like a month before I graduated, that's when I started noticing some of the warning signs. Like, I could tell, like, a lot of, like, in some of her shorts, like, a lot of the angles she has are to try to cover up that little soy wars tattoo she has. And that was the first warning sign, was the tattoo. Most people with tattoos are not stable people. They've had some form of past. You know what they say in nature, bright colors are often indicators of something poisonous. Yeah, tattoos are basically an indicator of that. So my first question was, like, okay, is she really on our side? And oh boy, I think the tattoo was a perfect warning sign of what was to come. Because, what was it, like 2-3 months ago, Undead Chronic and Hammerhand were talking about RealFemSapien and how basically she's a grifter. And I was just like, holy shit. And that's when I started to really learn, like, the sign of, like, if somebody is just being a grifter, basically. Although, with someone like her, the term would be female chameleon. They're basically saying stuff to attract a male audience that will just buy their shit. As we saw in the roast portion, yeah, she sells a quote-unquote course or quote-unquote consultation. I say quote because, I mean, you could just watch any of her videos and you'll probably get some of the same trad thought advice. I think if somebody is being a grifter, I think the key sign, and if they have a website, the first thing you should see is what they're selling. I'm a pretty big fan of the Millennial Gentleman. I know he's a consultant. He sells other people's, like, construction products, like stuff like that, like stuff related to the trades on the millennialgentleman.com. He's not selling how to pick up girls, because those articles on his website, like the dating articles, as well as his videos, they are free. Like, you don't need to pay thousands of dollars to gain access to his videos. Like, they're on his YouTube channel. So he's not a grifter in that regard, but also he does believe in what he says. Why am I bringing up the Millennial Gentleman? Because RealFemSapien probably doesn't actually believe the things she's saying. She's just saying red pill talking points, well, just to get an audience and to get money and to try to basically take advantage of the of the few red-pilled women that are out there. She's basically trying to spread her pathology over to what would otherwise be good women that men are really trying hard to look for. And she's trying to give the same advice that got her in the predicament that she's in now. She basically got the Jack Murphy treatment, minus all the dildos and minus the slippy slide. So, ultimately, you're probably wondering why I have such a vendetta against Miss Allie Drummond. And there's a lot of reasons, but I'll get into the most important reasons to me. So, this first one, this is mainly for the ladies. Why would you trust someone like Allie Drummond? She's just trying to get your money and not even really offering you advice. I think, even in the context of like watching like red pill content, like if you're a chick watching it, you'd gain a lot more value out of listening to someone like Undead Chronic or Better Bachelor than you ever would out of watching RealFemSapien. And I will say this, that this is a fact. You will learn a lot by listening to those people that I just listed. And you'll find other people in that network that you'll listen to as well. The next point I really want to get into, this is for the men who are watching this, which I know my main demographic here is men, conservative men in particular. You do realize that it's so easy for someone to just get on a mic and start saying like stuff that, you know, the moderate conservatives would say. You could say that I'm doing this right now. But once again, this goes back to the whole thing. She just says this shit to get your money. I do this stuff as a hobby. I do this for fun. I'm not trying to get anyone's money out of this. I make these videos because I have something I want to say that I believe in. You're not really going to find much lying here on the Scurvy DK channel, if at all. But I know where you will find a lot of lies. RealFemSapien's channel. Why? It's mainly for the fact that she's an already divorced woman. I brought this up in the roast, and I think I've already mentioned it here. But why would you take advice from somebody who was previously divorced? Someone who's probably taken advantage of the system as well. That wouldn't be beneath her. For the ladies, if you want to actually get some good dating advice from somebody who was once a liberal and is now very much conservative, I would suggest you get your advice from Candace Owens. Like, she actually knows what she's talking about. She's married and is very faithful in that marriage, unlike Miss Allie Drummond, who actually cheated on her ex-husband with Army Cuck that we now know him as. So why? Why do you support her? Like, is it because she just says the right things? Or do you desperately want a chance with a skinny-looking cow? I don't understand the mindset of her simps. And the thing is, they're fighting a losing battle. They're the ones who lost the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. The warband and guys like myself who rip on her, we won the duel. Absolutely. And the consequences are showing themselves. For one, her channel, her views, like her subscriber count is at like 138,000. It kind of plateaued there. It's not really growing. And the views have basically dried up, except for some of the people who are looking for contradictions to what she says. That's basically her audience, is the people that don't like her, that are basically hate watchers. Like, to compare her to Pearly Things, her content is really trending right now. And I'm not saying this as a defense of Pearly Things. She may or may not be on the shit list at one point or another. But comparing her content to Pearly's, it's night and day. It is night and fucking day. Oh boy. I haven't even gotten to the worst of it yet, but we're about to right now. And that would be her "I'm leaving the red pill" community video. All that bullshit. That video was the moment where the Wizard of Oz revealed himself for who he truly was. she basically revealed her hand that says, "Oh, I'm trying to con you. I want you to buy my shitty consultation. I want you to basically give me money, your hard-earned money, in an economy that's already really shitty as I'm recording this video. And yeah, I need it for my family, my soon-to-be family. I need it for that. When Army Cuck isn't giving me enough beta bucks for my shitty lifestyle, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to give up when I have that baby." Oh boy. Oh boy. While I wish her best in carrying the child, I worry about that child's future. I really do. I don't think that kid's gonna have a good mom. I'm just telling her the truth. But ultimately, I do want to ask this question again to both her male and female audience. Why do you trust her? Why do you trust an adulterous 304 with a simp husband and soy wars tattoos? Why do you trust her? I don't trust her. I know I trusted her for a little bit, but that trust, oh boy. Once I find out that I've been deceived, I'll try to get back at them for the deception that they pulled against me. This video is the payback for deceiving me into thinking that you were on our side. You, Allie Drummond, are on my shit list, Scurvy shit list, for the reason of deception. I hope you watch this. Maybe you even make a response to this. To tell you the truth, I don't think you'll have a really good one. My excuse for rambling about you, it's probably far more logical than any counter argument you'll ever make. So there's that. Phew, that was quite the rippin' roast. Now, let's see who's next on the chopping block. Who is going to be on Scurvy's shit list? Oh boy, I can't wait to talk about this motherfucker. This is gonna be a good one. But I think that will be it for videos this year. I think this one's gonna be coming out not on New Year's Day, but probably around that week. More likely next week. But with that being said, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'm sure as hell looking forward to making this next video.